Good morning. Welcome again to Morning Devotions. Thank you again for our time together. Well, it's that time of year when we interrupt whatever series we're in and we take a few weeks and begin to talk to you about next year. We call it 2020 Vision. Stewardship of your promotions and your prosperity in 2020. God has been good to us. But how do we act like good stewards? Now, all weekend, I'm going to teach you just to remember where promotions, success, and prosperity come from, that we must not forget that everything comes from God. So we'll see you in the services today and all day tomorrow. But right now, turn with me to the book of 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 1. The Apostle Peter says, "But false prophets also arose among the people, just as there will be false prophets among you." Now, Peter said, listen, grow up, take off your rose-colored glasses. There will be, not there might be, there will be false teachers among you. They're going to be not just false prophets who, dress up like sheep. They're going to be teachers, people who stand up in front of you and teach that will be false, who will secretly bring in destructive heresies. Now notice, they don't just bring their big destructive heresy out in front of everybody. It's secret. Now, I've listened to some of these people talk, and they say, you can't say things like that. You have to change the definition in your mind so that you use terms that people understand. And what they were talking about was the resurrection. This guy actually said, I don't believe that Jesus literally died and rose again. He said, it's a beautiful story, it's a beautiful metaphor. But I said, why are you preaching the gospel? He said, well, I like being a pastor. I said, but you don't believe in the resurrection? Then you're not even saved. And he laughed and he laughed and he laughed. He was not offended. He thought I was quaint. In fact, I think that was his exact word. He said, you're so quaint. They look at you when you believe in the literal physical resurrection of Jesus as if somehow you're intellectually deficient, that you are a moron. But I said, you stand up and teach people about the resurrection. Oh, yes, I have many sermons. Every Easter I preach on the resurrection. But he said, what I'm thinking is very different than what everybody else is thinking. Now notice what they're doing. They're secretly introducing destructive heresies. People who come along with a false doctrine, but they change the definitions of words, they change the meanings of phrases, they change precious subjects to us, and they bring in destructive heresies. He continues, verse 2, and that many will follow their sensuality, and because of them the way of truth will be blasphemed, and in their greed they will exploit you with false words. Now notice, these destructive heresies, this is what they do. But sensuality and greed is who they are. These false teachers are not difficult to recognize. They're off leading the way in sexuality and sensuality. They're leading the way in homosexual behavior, heterosexual, adulterous behavior. They're leading the way in sensuality and pornography. They're leading the way in greed. And they exploit you with false words. They don't care what they have to say to get money from you. They use false words and false stories just to get money out of your pockets. Now, the Apostle Peter said, listen, you just need to wake up, take off your rose-colored glasses, and face reality. This is the real world that we live in. There will be false teachers among us.